The white collars or the blue collars? White collars. Who made the presentations? No, still the white collars. In fact, did the blue collars have any communication with upper management? So communication in this environment, some of you will go to work for second wave organizations. We still work with second wave organizations. In those situations, communication flows top down. And what form of communication did we add to face-to-face? Now we have more documents. What did we add? Telephone. Yeah. So now we've got telephone, distance communication, but it's still pretty personal, right? Because you're hearing a voice. Obviously, part of this wave, too, is distance becomes more significant. You all know what's on the back of the Utah State Quarter? I asked the question. I give prizes in other states. Nobody knows. They say, "What is that part of the United States?" Yeah. Anybody know what's on the back of the Utah State Quarter?
The golden spike.
The golden spike, yeah, Promontory Point. First time a continent was connected with a railway, ever. Promontory Point. So that's our claim to fame. Wave 3. So this goes on from 1440 to 1960. 1960, we start the electronic wave. Now, we have that date because 1958, we had the first transistor. 1961, the first silicon chip. So straddling that, 1960 to 1990, this electronic wave. How did life change? How did communication change? What was the method that we added? Email, faxing, paging, using electronics to communicate, mass communication. Questions on any of those things, on electronics? Now understand too, we're also shifting the power base. Back here in wave 2, who had the power? White collars, the executives. Those are either owners or people who are educated. Part of wave 3 is more education, and companies now realize, hey, you know what? This David guy over here, he's actually pretty smart. Let's find out what he thinks. And so they put him on a committee, and he started sending communication up to management. So now a lot of the training that we do is with what you would consider in the olden days blue collar, but people who've been in companies for only a couple of years, and they're now making presentations or sending documents to executives and management. So now we got communication flowing both ways. Wave 4, we call the wave of the individual. That's where we're at today. We are in wave 4, 1990. We're already seeing signs of wave 5. This wave 4 was about giving you, whatever station you are, however long you've been in a company, you now have all the power. Do you believe that? Do you know what the number one problem in corporate America is? How long? Say it loud. Communication is causing some very serious problems. It's the number one reason why you're hired. Communication skills, number one. But that's causing a lot of problems. But what are companies really struggling to do today? Yes?
Have executives and leaders making the decisions.
Mm-hmm. Now, you are as important in making decisions as they are. Now, how long did somebody work for a company back in wave 2?
Forever.
Did your parents work, 30, 40 years? Same company? How long are you going to work for the first company you go to work for? Year? 18 months? See, do you know what the average in corporate America is? 3 years. It's shrinking all the time. So one of the biggest challenges in all organizations is retention. They've got to retain who? You. Fourth wavers. In a second wave environment, if a person ran into a problem with their boss, if they hated their boss, had some personality conflicts, what did they do? Dealt with it. Suck it up. What do fourth wavers do when they run into problems with their bosses? 3 favorite words? I quit is not 3, but good guess, good guess. Monster.com. And then I'm out of here. It's a huge problem. with wave 4. Now, what method of communication are wave 4 people employing? How do you communicate? Internet. What else? Text. How many of you actually text more than you talk on your phone? By raise of hands. Fourth wave. Fourth wave. Now, incidentally, are there any students in here that don't think you're a fourth waver? Because I know a lot of, in fact, my oldest daughter, who's 22, is more second wave than I am. It's not about age. I mean, typically, you look at Jeff, and yeah, he's got a lot of gray hair, and yes, he's older than the hills. Got to be second wave, right? I'm kidding. He's not. I'm a third waver, solid third waver, meaning that I'm very comfortable with email, and that's my chosen method of communication. I text, but that's not my first choice. I'm still more of a personal communicator. Understand this. This is about communication patterns, understanding that what fourth wavers do, your communication patterns, do not fit when you're communicating with leadership or management in the companies you go to work for. Do you understand that? Okay. For example, just go back, make a couple notes. Second wavers, they prefer to communicate face-to-face or phone. That's their method. You're not going to solve a problem with a second waver by texting them. Ain't going to happen. You can try it. Good luck with that. So you're going to have to get off your butt, walk into their office, and have a conversation. Now, I know that's painful sometimes, but that's the only way to communicate effectively with second wavers. These people love detail, thrive on it. Got to have it. They're not making a decision without it. How are fourth wavers on detail? You're bottom liners, right? You just text your 3-word, let's do this. Second wavers are going, no, I got to have backup. I got to have references. Give me more information. Huge problem, because your bottom liners, these second wavers, they want it all. They want everything. And these are also process people. A lot of the processes you're going to get frustrated with when you get into corporations, those processes were created by second wavers. We know that's frustrating. If they're smart, they'll ask you fourth wavers to come up with faster, better, smarter processes. You guys think outside the box. Second wavers are famous for saying, if you're ever in a meeting with somebody and they say, that's not how we do things around here, do this. That's your sign. For second wavers, do this. Of course, if they see you and they say, what's that? Say it's V for victory. But you'll know it's actually second wave. Third wavers, these guys are emailaholics. They'll try and do everything with email. Can you reach a group